Hi students, welcome back to Chakravarthy E Classroom. We are going to discuss two questions today in this session from percentages chapter. Actually, these two questions are being discussed in our regular course. I have discussed at the basic level, I think lesson 1 or lesson 2 of percentages, and alternatively I have posted these questions in the evening in our Telegram groups also. The students who are there in our groups, I hope most of you must have finished these questions because this type of questions are not new for us. And again, I'm giving the solution on YouTube because some new students may be there, new viewers may be there. You must understand our teaching methodology as well. Anyway, students, coming to the difficulty level of these two questions, I can categorize this one as a moderate to a little advanced level question. And you can expect this type of questions at a preliminary level as far as the bank exams are concerned, and SSC CGL or CHSL. Mostly in CGL examination, this type of questions are asked at the first level, that is tier 1. Even for banks also, for phase 1 or prelims, you can expect this type of questions. Alright, now start the solution here. Before going for the explanation, students, you just pause the video here, make a note of these questions and try to solve it by yourself. For the beginners, it may take like 4 to 5 minutes to solve one question. For other students who are already in the preparation, it shouldn't take more than maximum I'm telling you 1 minute after reading the question. After reading the question, not more than 1 minute. Okay, quickly go for this one. Here, where is this one? Let's start this one. How they have given: a man gave 30% of his income to his wife. Simple sentence, right? While reading the sentence only, try to analyze it. 30% of income to his wife and deposited 40% of the remaining. I have given good techniques for the remaining like based problems. Remaining in the bank, 40% of the remaining in the bank. Then he distributed the remaining amount to his son and daughter in the ratio of 4:3 respectively. If the difference between the amount invested in the bank and the amount given to his daughter is 10,000, then find his total income. See students, this question can be done in two ways: using the fractions or directly using some imaginary figures. Whichever is convenient for you, you go with that one, because in our course I have explained you both the methods. Now I am going to give that imaginary number method now, because there may be some beginners also. For that reason, let us take his total income as one convenient number and start from there, and finally we are going to take the actual numbers given in the question and we compare imaginary and actual number to come out with the answer. Okay, now how to go for this one? Let's take the imaginary number. What's the final question? Find his total income. I'll take a convenient number. I'm taking his total income as 100 rupees. Enough. In the fraction method, you have to take it as 100%. Anyway, students, total income is 100. This is the imaginary number I have taken. It is not the actual number. Just for the convenience, I have taken 100. Now, with this imaginary number, what you need to do? You need to follow all the instructions given in the question with the given figures. You get some imaginary figures there. And finally, you have to compare this imaginary figure with that of the final figure to get the answer. This is called one way of unitary method. Okay, now let's solve this one. Gave 30% of his income to his wife out of his 100 rupees. 30%. What is 30%? Obviously 30 rupees. 30 rupees to wife. I am writing wife. Alright, then after that he deposited 40% of the remaining in the bank. 40% of the remaining. What do you mean by remaining here? From 100, 30 gone, and the remaining is 70. From this 70, deposited 40% in the bank. What is 40% of 70? Obviously 28 rupees. So that is being deposited in the bank. Then after that, what they have given, then he distributed the remaining amount to his son and daughter in the ratio of 4:3. So out of this 70, 28 rupees are being deposited in the bank. And the remaining amount, what is the remaining? 40% gone, that is equal to 28. Remaining is 60%. What is the 60%? 42. This is the remaining amount. Now, this remaining amount has been distributed for his son and daughter in the ratio of 4:3. Son and daughter. 4 parts for son and 3 parts for daughter. 4:3. What is 4 parts of 42 and 3 parts of 42? Easily you can go for this one. 4 plus 3, 7. 7, 6 is 42. 6 is the common one, right? So 6 into 4, that is 24. 24 to his son. 6 into 3, that is 18 to his daughter. Got the idea? So I have started with one imaginary number 100 and distributed that one according to the question, according to the figures given in the question. Then after that, you see students, if the difference between now they have given additional information. If the difference between the amount in the bank, deposited in the bank, and the amount to give his daughter 10,000 actually. But with our imaginary figures, you see, he has deposited, how much he has deposited in the bank? 28. Difference between this and the amount given to his daughter, that is 18. The difference between these two, if you go for the difference according to the imaginary numbers, that is 28 and 18, difference is 10. If the difference is 10, my original amount is 100. I've discussed in our regular course in the basic one. After this, I have explained you the fraction method. But here on YouTube, I am explaining only this method. Fraction method is given in my regular course. That is still simpler than this one. Okay, anyway students. Now you see, if the remaining is 10 according to the instructions or difference. Difference is 10, total is this one. Now here they have given difference is 10,000. Now make one unitary equation. If difference is 10, total income is 100. If the difference between the amount of bank and the amount given to his daughter is 10,000 in the question, what is the total amount? Alright, simply you can go for this one. 1010 means my answer is 10,000. Again 10 should be added. 10,000 10. So that is right, 1 lakh. So that is 1 lakh. What is his total income? Means total income is 1 lakh. Isn't it simpler, students? If you follow this method, you need not write anything on the paper. Once you got acquainted with this method, you need not write anything on the paper. Straight away you can answer the question like this. Hope you got the idea, right? Now go to the next question, students. Easily you can do the second one also. I hope by this time you might have done this one. What is this? A's income is 30% of that of B's. The comparison between A's and B's. Then expenditure is 20% that of B's. Then if A's income is 60% of B's expenditure, what is their savings ratio? Little confusion is there. I told you in the regular course also, to solve this type of questions, directly you do with only one or maximum two. In unavoidable cases, go for the third step. Enough. Comparison you have to do in ratios chapter. I have given this one. Okay, simple, students. What is there? You just bifurcate like this, A and B. Okay, they have given the figures for income, then expenditure, indirectly they have given, and they are asking the ratio of savings, that to A to B. This is what exactly I need to find out. That's it. Here also you can start with imaginary numbers using the percentages or directly with the fractions also. Okay, now how to go for this one? A's income is 30% of B's income. That means if B's income is 100 rupees, obviously A's income will be 30% of that one. That is 30 rupees. As simple as this one. Finally, they ask for what is their savings ratio. I got income here. I started with imaginary numbers. There is no problem for percentages and ratios. You can start with imaginary numbers because the ratio, as long as the ratio is same, even the numbers are changed according to that ratio, the final figures are not going to be changed. Final ratio is not going to be changed, isn't it? B's income I have taken 100. Obviously A's income will be 30% of that one, that is 30. If I get expenditure of A here and expenditure of B, then income minus expenditure will give me savings. This is going to be my answer. Now to find out, the job is to find out expenditure of A and B with the help of the further information. What is that information, students, here? And A's expenditure is 20% of B's expenditure. That means here this figure, A's expenditure is 20% of this expenditure. Got the idea? That means if you get B's expenditure, 20% of this will be A's expenditure. Now my task is to find out B's expenditure first. For that one, what they have given, if A's income is 60% of B's expenditure. Now very clearly A's income, this part 30, A's income is 60% of B's expenditure. That means 60% of B's expenditure is equal to this 30. Then 100% is equal to how much? Unitary method. Or directly you can use the fractions also. Okay, anyway, I'll do one thing. Let's first go with the percentages. Then the same problem I explained with the fractions also. That would be still simpler than this one. Now, 60% of B's expenditure is this one, 30. Total expenditure 100% is 60 is to 30 means 100 is to what? That is divided by 2, that is 50. Okay, so now expenditure of B is 50, right? Once you get expenditure of B, finding out expenditure of A is not a problem, because clearly they have given that A's expenditure is 20% of that of B's. So now A's expenditure is 20% of 50. What is 20% of 50? 10 only. So now simply this is 10. Now very clearly savings here 30 minus 10. 20. This is 20. And 100 minus 50. This is 50. Now what is the ratio of this one? Go for the short smallest form. 2 zeros cancel. My final answer is 2:5. As simple as so. Isn't it simple, students? So, doing with the percentages, I have taken the imaginary numbers. Now, let's solve the same question with fraction method. Fraction method, percentage method, both are same, almost same. That is, by and large, same. Just figures will be different. That's it. How? Same thing here. I need to find out the savings ratio of A and B. To find out the saving ratio of A and B, I must know A and B's income ratio followed by expenditure ratio. You know that income minus expenditure will give me saving. According to the given question, A's income is 30% of that of B's. That means A's income is 30% of B's income. 30% is nothing but 3 by 10. That means if B's income is 10, obviously A's income is 3. That is 3 by 10. If the total income is 13, out of 13, 10 parts will be B's and 3 parts will be A's. In the basic sessions, we have discussed this. Next, you see, A's expenditure is 20% of that of B's. A's expenditure, this one, is 20% of this figure. I should know this figure first. Obviously, 20% of this figure is this one. How to find out this one clearly? If A's income is 60% of that of B's expenditure, A's income is 3 here. This is 60% of this one. 60%, you know, 3 by 5. So, this figure is 3 by 5th of this figure, 3 by 5th of this one. So, 3 by 5th of this one means, what is the total one? Simply that is this figure into 3 by 5 by 3, reciprocal of that. Isn't it? We discussed in the basic classes. So, this figure is 5. This is the expenditure. Now, simply students, when this is 5, this figure, expenditure of A is 20% of this one. What do you mean by 20%? 20% is 1 by 5. That means when B's expenditure is 5, A's expenditure should be 1. Now A's expenditure is 1 here. Simple. Now savings 3 minus 1, this is 2. This is 10 minus 5, this is 5. What is the ratio of savings means? That is 2:5. In fact, no need to write anything on the paper. Still one more method is there. You can do without writing anything on the paper. I discussed in my regular courses. I hope you understood this one, students. 2 simple questions we have discussed in this session. I request all of you to join our Telegram channel so that the new updates and the free classes, everything will be posted in that one time to time. Thank you very much, students.